Hey guys, it's Abby and today I'm doing the Unpopular Opinions book tag. Abby from the future here. When I filmed this video and a few others, I had the camera way too zoomed in on my face, but I'm pre-filming because I'm heading off to do a master's, which is going to take up all of my time, so I can't refilm them. So I'm sorry that my forehead isn't in shot, and I hope you can deal with it and still enjoy the video. So enjoy watching. So as per usual, I will leave the link to the original person and all the questions and all that down below in the description, so make sure to check them out and let's get going. Question number 1. A popular book or series that I didn't like. The Catcher in the Rye, which I'll pop here. I read this when I was 17. I hated it. I found it pointless. I found the character unlikable, and finding a character unlikable is not always the be-all and end-all for me. Sometimes I can still really enjoy a book, but I didn't want to read it. I was bored. Nothing was happening. And it's meant to be a book where it's like, yeah, read it as like a teenager, it's going to mean a lot to you. Nothing happened. I wanted to punch our main character in the face because he's just such a little twat. There was nothing good about this book. I hated it. So yeah, I don't like The Catcher in the Rye. Question 2. A popular book or series that everybody else hates but you love. Now I know that this one is a divisive one and some people love it and some people hate it, but I really like The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I read this and Glass Sword before I even found out that there was controversy and some people hated the books and some people didn't. So I'm looking forward to reading book number 3 and kind of seeing how that influences what I'm reading. But in terms of just reading this and The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon got me massively out of a reading slump. I read this and then I sped through Bone Season, adored them, and I'm aware that there are issues of its own in here, however I loved it and I think it's a really good book. Love Triangle Gone Wrong / OTP that you don't like. Now I don't tend to read a lot of books with romances, and when I do they aren't my focus. Like I don't always care, which sounds bad. I'm not a romance focused person. My poor boyfriend. But so I'm gonna go with like a fandom made one, and for me that's Draco and Hermione. People have mixed their names together, I don't even know. I despise the concept. It's wrong. It just is. Draco is, and I don't like it. Don't like it. I don't know whether she should have ended up with Ron. That seems to be a little bit of fan service, but not Draco. Just not Draco. I kind of wish she'd ended up with Harry. That's kind of what I expected until the books progressed and I was like, yeah, they're not ending up together. Oh well. Question 4 is a popular genre that you hardly reach for. For me, that's going to be romance, chick lit sort of books. I have a few chick litty books on my shelves. I don't think I have any straight up romance at all. Again, if I'm made to love the characters and if part of a deeper plot is that they're in love, I can get along with that great. The Slated trilogy has got some love in it, and but at the same time, like, I'm not going to read purely about people falling in love. I need other stuff to be happening. Like, for me to care about them, I need other things to happen. Question 5 is a popular or beloved character that I don't like. For me, within the Skullduggery Pleasant series, this is Billy Ray Cyrus. Loads of people within the like Skullduggery fandom love him, and I can see why. I really can. But he just gets on my wick. I really don't like him. He seems smarmy and annoying, and it's weird because I can see how other people find him charming and lovely, but at the same time, you know those people that it's mainly men, which sounds really bad. I'm really sorry, but I've personally experienced this more with males, and you see them and you're like, no thank you. It's kind of how I feel about him. Yeah. Question 6 is a popular author that you can't seem to get into. For me, I'm going to say that this is Paula Hawkins. Apologies. I've only read this book. My aunt is going to lend me Into the Water. I think that's what it's called. So I'll make more of a judgment once I have that. But this book was incredibly slow. Personally, the writing style didn't gel with me. And although the concept was great, the execution just wasn't quite there. So currently, lots of people like her. This is like a bestseller around the world. I don't really get why. Question 7 is a popular trope you're tired of. Love triangles. They're really annoying. Like, it's always one girl with 2 boys vying for her attention and she doesn't know which one to choose. And sometimes that can be done really well. I was surprised when I read Shattered by Terry. And there isn't, but there is like a hint of a love triangle in there. It's a very obvious hint. It's like shouting in your face, but there's a hint. And I think that was done really well because of the situation and the circumstance and what our main character is going to be going through mentally. So they can be done quite well, but at the same time, like, why did these girls always have 2 guys going after them? Like, Throne of Glass, I can tell. You know. Love triangle. Why? What's the need? I mean, at least in Throne of Glass, she's said to be beautiful, like she's meant to be an absolutely gorgeous specimen of a human. So I can deal with that, but like in Twilight, I loved Twilight when I read it. I refuse to reread it because I'll hate it now. But Twilight, Bella's described as plain and meh. And yet she has 2 boys fawning over her. More than 2 boys, because there's that other boy from school that I don't remember the name of. In the film, he's white with blonde hair. That's all I can remember. And he's like obsessed with her as well. And it's just, if she's meant to be so plain and so meh, why are there so many boys fawning over her? And I know why. Like, I know why the authors do this, because people often play down their own attractiveness and they don't know, they think that they're more unattractive than they are, so they think they're plain. And then when they're reading about a plain girl who had all the boys fawning over her, they're like, oh, that's me. I get that, and it's great for tweens and young teens, I guess, but it's just getting a bit old now, and it's not my favourite trope. Obviously, everyone's different. You might love this, good for you, but for me, not my thing. Question 8, a popular series that I have no interest in reading. Anna and the French Kiss. People are still going on about this book, and one, it's in the chick lit genre, so already not my thing, which is fair enough, but you know, sometimes I'll read some chick lit, especially if it's really hyped, everyone loves it. But since watching Lily C. Reed's video on it, I don't understand why people like it. It's about, essentially, technically, possibly spoilers here, I don't know, I've not read it, but a girl trying to get a boy to cheat on his girlfriend with her, and then getting annoyed when anyone else wants his attention, even though he already has a girlfriend, so technically she should be annoyed at herself, and she's not, and she doesn't seem to understand this concept. Like, I'm sorry, but cheating? Really? Like, cheating as a plot device? Completely fine with it. But cheating normalised and made to be okay? What? No. Like, if someone's taken and they're monogamous, they're taken. If they're poly and everyone within the partnership agrees, fine, go for it. If everyone's happy, everyone's happy. Consenting adults do what they want. But if you're in a monogamous relationship, or you see someone who's in a monogamous relationship and you go after... No. No. Why? Why ruin that other person? Why care more about other people? Maybe. I can see why people read it, like, at a younger teenage age and didn't realise the problematic aspects of it, because I know loads of booktubers that I love really like the book. So I can understand reading it at a younger age and not seeing the problematic aspects until you're older. So, like, no shade to anyone who loves it, but just... I'm almost 22. I'm not reading this. Question 9 is a movie or TV show adaptation that you think is better than the book. And for me, Anne of Green Gables. I've not watched Anne with an E on Netflix. I plan to. I just don't have Netflix. Money problems. I'm poor and a student. Yay! I'll watch it when I can, or like if someone else has Netflix and we watch it together. But I watched the 1980s film on the recommendation of Sabrina Cox, and I absolutely adored it. They went in a slightly different direction in the book. They focused on a few different points rather than encompassing everything, but they did it so well. I am desperately in love with the characters, and it just made me appreciate the book even more. And if that isn't a good movie adaptation, I don't know what is. So yes, that is my unpopular opinion book tag. I don't tend to tag people in these, partly because I wouldn't know who to tag, because I'll just tag the same people all the time, and that's just going to get annoying. And also partly because I just think anyone should be able to do these. So if you want to do this tag, do it. Leave a comment down below, I'll go watch it. And thank you for watching and listening to me tell you what stuff that I don't like or do like that most people are the opposite about. Yeah! Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!